Okay, good evening, everyone. Hi, Sanbonani, Awe. Thank you, Prudence, for the spotlight on female producers. I'm really excited to be talking to our two lovely ladies. And we're really going to speak about their projects. We're going to delve into a bit of their challenges, but their successes as well. I think it's important. So before I go any further, as mentioned, I'm from South Africa. I'm a film producer. I work in both fiction and non-fiction film, and really honored to be here. I'm going to ask Filson to introduce herself, and then Nici. Thank you.
I'm Filson. I'm a producer and director and co-owner of Camera X that we co-founded. It's a production company based in Denmark and Sweden, co-founded with my husband, Daniel. And so why we did that is because we felt like it was a narrative missing in the Nordic country. So we created that with the idea that we have a feature film that we want to make. So, and that idea started like over a decade ago that we'll talk a little bit about later. So we have produced short films, commercials, and documentary. So now we are in pre-production for this feature film that we're working on. So yeah, short and sweet. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. And thank you, Prudence, also for the opportunity. I'm Nici Brueckner. I can't see anything. I'm so blinded here. Sorry. I'm a producer. I've been in the film industry for about 15 years in different production roles, and decided 2 years ago to step up and become a producer, full-time producer. And I started my company called Work Color Studio 22 with a focus on diversity in front and behind the camera. And
Okay, so I think the important thing is to just really talk about your projects, where you are, what stage you're at, and some of the challenges that you're finding right now as a woman of color in a very male-dominated industry.
Do you want to start? All right. I can tell you about the story. The story is inspired by, is a theme that's very close to me, that's inspired by my nephew who passed away in 2010. So for me, it was just important to tell stories from youth perspective, because some of the youth in the Nordic are not represented as they should. And it's like, we need more nuances when it comes to movies and representation in the youth. I didn't want to talk about the trauma, more like the fun, but also the experience in the vulnerable areas in an authentic way without reproducing trauma or stereotypical, more an authentic way they can recognize themselves and see themselves. Yeah, this is us, so thank you. So that's the story is about, and the challenge is...
where exactly are you right now, the production, and what
challenge,
do you need?
I need money. So, I need money. We are in a pre-production where we're trying to lock the script, and casting, we are talking to some of them, but none of them are we're not confirmed, because when it comes to young audience, they grow. So we kind of have to wait till we have all the finances on place. So we're looking for distributions, because I think pre-sale for distribution is always a good start, because this is a local story but have a universal appeal. So if you want like a pitch deck or anything, talk to me later. So I'm here.
Yeah. And then in Sweden, do you have access to self-funding?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So yeah.
So is there good infrastructure?
Yes, it is. It is.
Good.
Yeah.
And Nici, tell us about
but we're still looking for corporate.
Okay, of course.
Okay, so one of the projects that I'm working on currently is a film called Intran Sky. It's the director and the writer is Derya Domaz, a Turkish director, writer, and actress. It's loosely based on her own story, and the story is about Zainab, who is a young female who's traveling to South Africa, who's actually living in an abused relationship or marriage here in Germany. She decides to go on a study trip to South Africa, and through many different things that are happening, she finds her own true voice, basically. So it's a female empowerment film. It's, so it's a fiction. It's loosely based on supernatural It's a supernatural drama and a psychological thriller.
So would that be a co-production? Do you see this as a two-way or what?
It's a three-way co-production. So we have Germany, we have Turkey, and we have South Africa. The tricky part on the film is that we're getting about 65%, or we're wanting to get 65% of the budget here in Germany, but we're shooting 75% in South Africa. Whatever funding you get in South Africa, it's way less than what you get here. We also have Turkey on board, and Turkey is we get 10%, and even that is really tricky to get 10% out of the Turkish film industry.
And then, is that an official co-production with South Africa and Germany?
We're in the process of doing that, but it is an official co-production, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
So, what was the question?
Well, I think
what
are some of your challenges first? Like, what are you finding?
Okay, the biggest challenge I'm finding is, money, yes. Also, you need to have, in Germany, to have a huge track record of, you need to say who you are, what you've done, how many films have you produced? Have you produced 3 feature films, for instance? Then maybe we will fund you. So they're very reluctant to support young and upcoming producers, I guess. Also, the budget of the film is 1.1 million, so it's still really, really low, as anyone knows. But that's still seems to be a lot of money that they don't want to share.
I guess that's something interesting that you've just mentioned, that nobody is willing to take a risk on an emerging, we call them emerging filmmaker. So if you had to speak to those funders or distributors, what would you say to them? Like, why should they invest in new talents?
Well, the feedback I got from, let's say, Medium Board here in Germany, if they basically turned around and said, okay, the story is great, but you have weak points here and weak points here. So what you have to do is try and strengthen the team around you, basically, to make yourself look stronger. So therefore, we have a very strong Turkish production company. The South Africans are also huge in South Africa, but not internationally. So there's, when Medium Board looks at it, they go, okay, we don't know who they are, but if you say so. And then we go, well, they've worked for Netflix, they've produced 10 films, they're big, but they're not big here in Germany. So Germany is a little bit like, they kind of think that they're very big in the playing field of the international film industry, but they're not. I don't know, sorry. So they're, I don't know how to put it without being not friendly.
No, we're being real, yeah. It's a real conversation.
Yeah, we have the German industry, and then we have the international industry. And in the international industry, I think the German industry is still relatively small. And but they take themselves very serious. So I don't know.
Okay, I mean, I think that's interesting. And the solution there seems like to have a strong, almost supervising or executive producer. And I know in South Africa, that's what we often do. When we have emerging filmmakers, they partner them with an experienced producer just to oversee the production and help them along. And I was actually speaking to somebody today, and that seems to be the trend in emerging markets. They like seeing that, right? So they like seeing that. Is that something you have struggled with?
Yeah, but at the same time as my project, when I first roll shape into where I am, so yeah.
You have that support.
So I had that support, like without expecting that, so it just became a natural. Yeah. And then like 2-3 years back, it became more commitment. Like, okay, we're gonna invest on this.
Well, I think that just speaks to like filmmaking. Yeah. There's a relationship process,
yeah.
And I mean, what would you say for yourself when you're getting a co-production is a big thing? What are some of the things you look for when you go into this kind of partnership?
Firstly, do I like them? Can I talk to them? Do they respect me? Can I say something without them crumbling? Like I need it to be, because the bottom line is I want to grow as a producer. I want the project also be really good, I guess, successful. So therefore, I'm looking for feedback, and I want to be able to work with people that can also take criticism and I don't know if you know what I mean, but it's...
I think it's like a marriage sometimes, right? Working with a director or partner, because the lifespan of a film is 7 years at least. That's once you go into production. So you really have to you must like the person, right? What were you gonna...
you have to, because like a marriage, so you're going to argue. It's going to be sensitive spots, like, no, I don't want to change. I don't want to kill this character. So, and also, you just have to be willing to criticism and also to be open to feedback. And if it's a project that's very close to you, it's a collaborative work. You cannot do it by yourself. So you just need to be open and humble about it. So.
Yeah, I think for me, what would you say would be the best way to deal with conflict when you have more than one partner and there's different cultural nuances that you have to consider, right? What would you say about that conflict resolution?
If there is a conflict, my biggest conflict is always that I feel like I'm sitting around waiting. I'm thinking, okay, here's something that I need to do. Why aren't they answering? And then I realize that's a cultural thing. With South Africa, for instance, they're on a different timeline. And just because they're not responding to me doesn't mean that they're not respecting me or not liking the project, or they've got other things more important. I don't know, I have to learn the different cultures. I have to learn the Turkish culture. I have to learn the South African culture, whoever I'm working with. So I don't know. If there's a conflict, I sit back and I try and analyze it to figure out what could be the problem, and then go gently back in and go, hello.
No, I think you're right. I'm currently working with a South Korean project, and what I found is it's very different to any other culture that I've had to deal with. And they're very absolute. So you don't hear anything. And then all of a sudden you'll have a meeting with 10 different people and translators, and it's like questions and they want that answers immediately. So, South Africa, we're a bit laid back. And what has been your experience?
When it comes to conflict, for me, it has been actually the story. When I first came in and I was trying to pitch the stories, people not understanding the story, and always it was always associated Benny should be like this character, like this stereotype, or whatever you read on the news. So that was the conflict. But with people working, I think I don't know, I trust my gut. Of course, they have to have a professional record, but I always go with my gut. So, and then I know I'm going to take this fight, or they're going to take this fight with me, and it's going to be no hard feelings, only the best for the project. So conflict has been the storytelling, not having enough knowledge about the POCs in the Nordic, and the fear of investing in these characters, the beautiful characters that you have, understanding them and how many stories that you can pick up. I think that's been my conflict in the Nordics. It's why can you not see these stories, So, yeah, that's what I was saying.
I think you're dealing in a very, very different space, right? Where you don't see many people like you, or is that not true?
And for me, it's just important to tell authentic story, because authentic story, everybody can relate to that.
Telling an authentic story, it doesn't matter what country you're from, but when you are diverse, it becomes an issue, because you have other people trying to tell you what that story should look like. And you're going, but this is my story. I know my story, right? Yeah. Nici, maybe you can weigh in, but personally, I think that when you have women, diverse people in positions of power and making decisions, these kind of conversations become slightly easier because they understand, right? And so it's important for us to have that, right?
Yeah, just before, when you were saying what are our hurdles, one of our hurdles is that we are taking a Turkish-German woman to South Africa, and then we're looking for distributors here in Germany. So the problem is that I'm sitting opposite white distribution people, and they're telling me that I shouldn't be telling this story because it's a bad thing for the culture. It should be told by the Africans themselves, the story. And it's like, well, but the trip is we're highlighting South Africa, we're highlighting the healers, we're highlighting the culture, and we're wanting to bring that to the world, to the rest of the world to see. And the way our production is going to work in South Africa also, we're going to do a lot of shadow work. Like we're going to have a lot of people on board, and we're going to bring the industry in. Like we're not coming to South Africa and with our cast and crew and just sitting there paying low money and going again. Like that's not our point. Our point is to go in there and to empower and skill. Yeah, I wouldn't even use that word empower, because I strongly believe that the power is already there. It's it just needs to have a place to show and to be seen. Yeah. Or yeah, I guess empower.
I think for me, what I keep hearing is like there's the gatekeepers, or there's people that are not diverse enough making decisions, and how do we get into those positions? How do we sit around those tables, right?
Yeah. I just felt like more people need to actually sit and decide, who should tell a story, or what story should we be telling, and there's so many different levels. So I think your story should just be, if you decide that's the story you want to tell, you should go and tell it. Like,
no, I think decision makers who's maybe don't recognize the story, I think they should at least give it a chance to have a conversation instead of cutting them off short. Try to understand a little bit further, and also it's a proven track, that the diversity sells. So everybody want to have a great story. So I think just give it a chance.
And one of the things that has opened up my my work and being able to have different co-productions is attending markets, right? Internationally. Have you found value in those? And what would you say to a new producer trying to get in? What would some of the tips be for them?
A new producer here in Germany?
No, I think we're diverse enough here, just in the world at this point. Because it sounds like Germany is very complex.
It's not that complex. I think you just have to decide you're not going to listen to all the whispers around you. You're just going to go for it. Like, that's my thing. Yeah. I just go, that's where I want to go, and I go. And you and upcoming producers, I would just say, just be true to yourself, and eventually people will listen, and people want to see what you've produced, and people, you will find the support. But just keep going.
I definitely love what you said. Don't listen to anything. Just focus on what you want, right? I think that's great. And what about you, Filson?
I mean, that's why I'm here, because I had this idea over 10 years ago, and I heard many people say, "Oh no, this is a story that's not going to travel. Oh no, I don't understand it. Oh no, where is this from?" So, but the thing is, you have to follow the guts, and you have to believe in yourself, because you're going to hear so many people saying no, 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 no. But at the end of the day, that this is going to work. So you just have to find your yes. So when you do find your tribe, so stick with them, and then they're going to help you, push the project. I'm just happy that I didn't believe those no's and just kept going. So just keep going, because no matter what, you're always going to hear no. So
thank you. Yeah. Again, we spoke about what it is you need. You're looking for a distributor.
Yeah, distribution. That's what I will need, and co-productions as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is there any specific country you would want to co-produce with?
But I think distribution will be perfect place. Yeah.
Yeah. And you, Nici? Any other countries you'd like to partner and collaborate with?
I don't want to say no.
For this project?
For this one and the future.
In the future, I'm open to all countries. For this project, we have 3 countries, and I think also as an emerging producer, I feel like that's enough. That's a lot of paperwork already, so I feel we're good. What I'm looking for, though, is German distribution. We have world distribution. We have distribution in Turkey and South Africa, but we are missing the German place. We're missing broadcasters. We're missing like TV stations, whatever, things like that. So here, my home country, that's what I'm looking for still.
Well, they always say that it's hard to get acknowledged in your own country. You always sometimes have to go outside, right? Which is a pity. Yeah. I think any last comments? I'm not sure where Prudence. It can be 5 minutes. Okay, fantastic. We're doing good. Good. I think for me, it's been great because we had a conversation the other day as well. And, as women working in this industry, it's challenging, but certainly where we are now, things are opening up. I think I'm very lucky in South Africa. We have so much support. Our government gives us loads of support, and it's great. I mean, I think we deserve it as well. So that's amazing. But last thoughts?
Comments. Thank you for Prudence for creating this and connecting all of us. So. Yeah.
Sorry. Last thoughts, yeah. Prudence did come to me a few months ago and she said, do you think I should bring this to Berlin? And I went, yes, 100%, please. So I don't know, it seems so full here today and I'm really excited that we've started that here. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Again, this is a great place to network, and it's really wonderful to see people from different parts of the country, the world. And yeah, we're having a party later right here. So please stay for the party. And again, Prudence, where are you? Thank you very much for this opportunity. Awesome.
Thank you so